In a universe where shadows hide deadly secrets, and every move could be your last, three unlikely allies race against time to escape a relentless hunter, Thul, a ruthless warlord with technology that knows no mercy. With their ship battered and hope fading, they stumble upon a forgotten outpost, hiding the key to their survival. But as they delve deeper into the darkness, they discover that the real danger isn't just outside. They're about to face a threat that could destroy everything they hold dear. Will they outsmart Thul's deadly pursuit, or will their secrets seal their fate forever? Stay tuned, because in this battle for freedom, survival is only the beginning. Please wait. Before we start, tap that iCard button in the top right corner and smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell so you're first in line when new stories land. All right, let's dive into the story. The underground market was alive with a cacophony of shouts, the metallic clang of bidding paddles, and the faint, sickly scent of burnt fuel mingled with the stale air of desperation. Ryan Stone leaned casually against a crumbling wall, swirling his amber liquor in a battered glass as he watched the final auction unfold. The place was a hive of chaos, a place where the galaxy's most broken, the most depraved, and the most desperate gathered to barter for what little they could still call valuable. Tonight, Ryan's eyes lingered on the last lot, a figure cloaked in shadows, waiting for her turn to be sold. She was an alien girl, shimmering emerald skin that caught the flickering neon lights in strange, hypnotic patterns, her silvery hair cascading down her back like liquid moonlight. Her torn sand-colored dress hung loosely on her frame, ragged from neglect and the rough treatment she'd endured. But it was her eyes that held Ryan's attention. Icy blue, sharp with defiance, blazing with a fire that refused to be snuffed out. She wasn't broken, no. Her jaw clenched tight and her posture radiated rebellion. Not yet broken, at least. The auctioneer's voice boomed across the crowd, a grotesque, wheezing sound that somehow carried through the chaos. A final lot of the day, a rare specimen from the outer reaches, an untamable verdante female. Young, strong, trainable, if you're brave enough. The crowd erupted in a chorus of chuckles, alien and otherwise, appreciating the spectacle of what was clearly an unruly prize. Ryan's eyes flicked over her, watching her tense and clench her fists as if silently daring anyone to try and break her. The crowd's attention shifted to the Krell merchant approaching, a reptilian, scaled creature with a sneer that revealed rows of sharp teeth. His reptilian features twisted into what passed for a smile. "Let me see the merchandise," he demanded, reaching out a scaled hand toward her face. His claws looked sharp enough to carve through steel. Before he could touch her, she lunged forward with surprising agility. Her teeth sank into his scaled finger. Crunch, dark blood spraying in a grotesque arc. The crowd gasped, and the Krell reeled back, screeching in pain as blood dripped from his severed finger. The girl's jaw clenched tighter, her eyes never leaving him. "My finger!" the Krell roared, clutching his hand while she spat venom. She bit it off. Murky chaos erupted instantly. The auctioneer's face contorted with rage. Without hesitation, he backhanded her hard enough to send her sprawling across the dirt floor. Her body hit the ground with a sickening thud, silencing the crowd for a moment. "Savage," the auctioneer spat, voice thick with disgust. "She needs more conditioning. She's not worth a single coin." A shiver ran through the assembled bidders, some amused, some horrified. One voice from the back shouted, "Better in the predator pits." Two guards moved swiftly toward her, guns drawn. Ryan's hand shot out instinctively, before he even knew what he was doing. He tossed a credit chip onto the stage, making his bid. "I'll take her," he declared, voice steady and unwavering. Silence fell like a heavy curtain. The auctioneer blinked, three eyes blinking in confusion. "You what?" he asked, voice uncertain. "I said I'll take her," Ryan repeated, tossing another chip onto the dirt. "Minimum bid." She's mine now, the crowd murmured, some in disbelief, others in grudging respect. The auctioneer's face darkened further, but he knew the law, market law, was on Ryan's side. He snapped his fingers, and the guards roughly yanked the girl up, her emerald skin shimmering faintly as she was dragged forward. Their eyes met. No thanks, no gratitude, only cold, assessing gazes. The girl spat venom again, voice venomous. You might as well kill me now. I'll never be your painted pet. Ryan's lips curled into a slight smile. All I want is someone to scrub my ship, he said softly, voice edged with dry humor. It's filthy, and my crew's too lazy to do it right. She blinked in disbelief, then looked away, eyes blazing with unspoken questions. He chuckled softly, a hint of amusement in his tone. Your attitude's not going to win you friends, he warned. But give it time, you might find some common ground. He turned to the auctioneer. We're done here. He pocketed the control chip, one that would give him command over the collar she'd be fitted with. Collar controls, shock, track, kill. Use them liberally. Ryan's mind flicked to the dark implications, but he kept his face impassive. As the guards roughly pulled her to her feet, Ryan stepped forward, his gaze locking onto hers. For the first time, their eyes met. An unspoken challenge, a flicker of something more. She looked at him with icy defiance, her voice dripping with venom. Maybe you should just kill me now, she said quietly, voice like a blade. I'll never be your painted pet. Ryan's smirk deepened, but there was a flicker of something softer behind his eyes. All I want is someone who can help me keep this ship clean, he said. Your attitude's not going to sit well with the crew, but I'm willing to give it a shot. You might surprise all of us. The girl hesitated, then wrapped herself in the tattered cloak he'd given her. Her emerald skin shimmered faintly beneath the fabric, a silent defiance. As they made their way toward the ship, Ryan felt the weight of stares, some hostile, some curious. The crowd's whispers followed them like shadows. She's trouble. That one's untamable. What's a human doing with a Verdante? But Ryan ignored the whispers, focusing instead on the fierce, unyielding glare of the girl walking beside him. The city's chaos faded behind them as they disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind the chaos of the auction, an uncertain future waiting just beyond the horizon. The moment the Nomad broke free from Darren's gravity well, the ship's engines roared to life with a violent shudder that shook the deck beneath their feet. Inside, the crew scrambled, chaos erupting in every corner of the vessel. Mara was already at the sensors, her brow furrowed tightly as she monitored the incoming pursuit ships that had just launched from the station. Captain, she called out urgently, voice tense. We've got company. 2 ships just entered pursuit mode. They're heavily armed, fast, closing in on us. Ryan moved swiftly, his eyes narrowing as he studied the approaching blips on the navigational display. They're gaining, he muttered, gripping the console tightly. Evasive maneuvers, full speed ahead. Lighten the load, cut the cargo, whatever it takes. We're not going down without a fight. His voice was commanding, but there was a flicker of worry beneath the bravado. He knew the kind of firepower those pursuers carried. Darren's scrapyards and black markets might have bred some ruthless fighters, but Ryan wasn't about to let them catch him so easily. Before he could give another order, Kona was suddenly at his side, her emerald skin faintly glowing under the flickering lights. Captain, she said calmly, eyes flickering with a strange intensity. Your stabilizers are misaligned. That's why you're losing acceleration. It's throwing off your balance. Ryan blinked, surprised by her insight. How do you know? You're just, She cut him off smoothly, her voice steady. Verdante can detect mechanical imbalances through touch, through sensing vibrations. Let me help. Without waiting for permission, she reached out, her fingers brushing the console's surface. Ryan hesitated, then nodded sharply. Fine, do it. He watched as she moved with surprising confidence, her hands dancing over the controls, her eyes flickering with concentration. A moment later, The tremors in the ship lessened, the engine's roar steadied, and the ship's pitch improved. Mara's voice crackled over the comms, a note of relief in her tone. Efficiency improved by 15%. We're stabilizing. Ryan allowed himself a quick nod, a flicker of admiration crossing his face. Good work. Plot a course for the Helios Nebula. We'll lose them in the radiation belt, standard procedure. His gaze flicked to Kona, who was already studying the sensors again, her expression focused but calm. She stepped closer, her voice soft but confident. You're lucky I know this stuff. The nebula's turbulence will hide us, but we need to be precise. If we get caught in the storm, it's over. Ryan turned to her, raising an eyebrow. You really know your way around ships? He asked skeptically. She nodded. I helped design some of the navigation systems. I know the safe paths through radiation storms, like the one we're heading into. Her voice was quiet but laced with pride. Thul's after my navigation system. He's desperate to control the trade routes, the sectors, everything. That's why he's so furious. Ryan's mind raced, connecting her words with the threat looming over them. So if you're telling me, he said, voice low, that your system isn't just navigation. It's an asset that can control entire sectors? Kona's gaze sharpened. Exactly. Thul wants that power. If he gets his hands on it, he'll dominate everything. She paused, then added softly, my people betrayed us once before. I won't let it happen again. The tension thickened in the cramped control room, the distant hum of the engines the only sound. Ryan shot her a glance, the gears turning. All right, he said finally. We're heading into the nebula. Keep your eyes peeled. If Thul's after you, he'll do anything to get to you first. Kona nodded, her face hardening with resolve. I'll do whatever it takes to keep this system out of his reach. We need to be smarter, faster, more unpredictable. She looked at the displays, her patterns flickering with faint light as she analyzed the incoming data. Suddenly, a faint beeping sounded, alerting them to something new, a signal interference from Thul's tracking systems. Ryan cursed under his breath. He's onto us, he muttered, but he's too late. We're already in the storm's cover. Kona's lips curled into a faint, determined smile. Then let's give him a run for his credits. Ryan cracked a grin, matching her fire. Good. I like a girl who plays dirty. As the ship plunged deeper into the swirling chaos of the nebula, Ryan leaned back, eyes fixed on the distant stars, knowing this was only the beginning of a dangerous game where trust was fragile. Survival was the only prize worth fighting for. The interior of the ship was tense, thick with unspoken questions and cautious glances. Kona sat cross-legged on a battered crate, her eyes flickering with a mixture of determination and distrust as Ryan paced back and forth, trying to piece together their next move. The nebula outside the viewport swirled in shades of violet and orange, a chaotic canvas that seemed to mirror the turmoil inside the ship. Ryan finally stopped, rubbing his temples, and looked sharply at Kona. So, you're telling me Thul's after your navigation system because it's more than just that? Is it a weapon of control? Kona nodded slowly, her voice calm but laced with fire. Exactly. The system holds the key to sectors, trade routes, and entire economies. Thul's been trying to steal it for years, but I've always kept it out of his reach, until now. Her eyes flashed with resolve. He's willing to kill for it. That's why I need protection, and why I can't let him get his hands on my system. Ryan looked skeptical, crossing his arms. And what's stopping him from just blowing us out of the sky once he figures out where we are? His tone was rough, edged with suspicion. You're a target now, more than ever. Kona leaned forward, her voice sharp. That's why I came here, to hide, to plan. I need allies, someone unpredictable enough to outsmart Thul's mercenaries. And I think that someone is you, Captain. Her gaze bore into him, unwavering. You're reckless, but you're clever. We can't outrun Thul forever, but we can outthink him. I know the nebula gives us cover, but we need a plan, something he won't expect. Ryan exhaled heavily, eyes scanning the swirling colors outside. "All right," he said finally, voice low. "We've got the cover of the nebula, but that's not enough. We need to find a safe place, somewhere to lay low, regroup, and figure out our next move. And I've got just the spot in mind." His lips twitched into a grin. "There's a hidden outpost on the other side of the sector, abandoned but still functional. It's off the grid, perfect for staging a comeback." Kona raised an eyebrow. "And how do you know about it? It sounds like you've been there before." Ryan chuckled softly. "Let's just say I've been around. I've seen things most people wouldn't believe. That outpost got enough supplies to keep us alive a while. Water, tech, even some old weapons. It's not perfect, but it's better than getting blown to bits by Thul's drones." His eyes gleamed with a mixture of confidence and wariness. "We'll set course there, lay low, and then figure out our next move. Meanwhile, we need to stay off the grid. No transmissions, no signals. If Thul's tracking system is even half as good as I think, we can't let him know where we're headed." Kona nodded, a flicker of relief crossing her face. "Good. I'll work on hacking into the ship's comms to wipe any trace of our location. Thul's got eyes everywhere, but I can mask our signals. We need to be invisible, like ghosts in the system." Ryan smirked. "That's the spirit. I like a girl who knows her way around a keyboard." He paused, then added with a grin, "And if Thul gets too close, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve." Kona shot him a sharp look. "Just don't get us killed trying to be clever. We're playing a dangerous game. One wrong move, and we're dead." Her voice was firm, but there was a spark of hope in her eyes. As the ship lurched slightly, caught in the turbulent currents of the nebula, Ryan looked out at the swirling chaos outside. "We've got a plan," he said softly. "Now we just have to survive long enough to see it through. And with you on my side, Kona, I think we stand a fighting chance." She met his gaze, a flicker of trust igniting between them as the ship drifted further into the storm, into the unknown, into danger, but also into the possibility of hope. The silence inside the ship was almost as deafening as the chaos outside. Kona sat hunched over a battered datapad, her fingers flying across the cracked surface as she tried to hack into the ship's outdated communication systems. Sparks flickered from the console, casting eerie shadows on her determined face. Ryan stood behind her, arms crossed, eyeing the flickering readouts with a mixture of impatience and concern. "You're telling me Thul's got drones patrolling the nebula's edge?" he asked, voice tense. "How do we even know if this plan will work?" Kona shot him a quick look, her eyes blazing with focus. "Because I've been studying the signals," she said sharply. "Thul's tracking system is sophisticated but not perfect. His drones are scanning for any unusual activity, like our ship trying to slip past. I've been working on masking our signals, making us invisible, at least temporarily. But I need more time, about 10 minutes, maybe less." Ryan's brow furrowed. 10 minutes? That's cutting it close. We're sitting ducks if we don't move fast. He glanced at the viewport, where the swirling chaos of the nebula roiled with violent energy, making it almost impossible to see beyond the ship's hull. "You're sure this will work?" he pressed. "Because if Thul figures out what we're doing..." Kona cut him off with a sharp look. "I know what I'm doing. Trust me. I've been in worse jams, and I've come out on top. Just keep watch for any sudden drone activity. If they get too close, I'll scramble the signals even more." Her voice was steady, but there was a flicker of vulnerability beneath it. She knew how high the stakes were. Every second counted. Suddenly, Mara's voice crackled over the comms, trembling with urgency. "Captain, we've got a problem. The drones are changing course. They're heading straight for us faster than before. It's like they picked up our trail." Her voice wavered. "I think Thul's got some new tech online. He's onto us." Ryan cursed under his breath. "Damn it, we're running out of time." He looked at Kona, who was now furiously tapping commands into the datapad. "Can you hold them off?" he asked urgently. Kona's lips pressed into a thin line. "I can slow them down, but I need at least 5 more minutes. After that, they'll start to pick up our real signals again. We'll be lucky if we make it." Ryan clenched his fists. Then we best pray your hacking works. He turned, eyes blazing. Get us as close as you can to that outpost. We're not going down without a fight, no matter what Thul throws at us. His voice was gritty, hardened by the threat looming over them. Kunan nodded fiercely. I'll buy us some time. Just get ready to move once I give the signal. Her fingers danced across the console as she launched her countermeasures, trying to outsmart Thul's tech with every ounce of her skill. Sparks and static filled the air, and for a moment, the ship seemed to shudder violently, caught in the chaos of the nebulous storm. Then, finally, Kona's voice broke through the noise. Now, we're clear, go, 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 she shouted. Ryan slammed the throttle forward, pushing the ship into the turbulent currents of the nebula, where the swirling clouds would hide them just long enough. As the ship lurched and twisted through the storm, Ryan looked back at Kona, admiration flickering in his eyes. You just saved our skins, he said, voice rough with relief. Kona shot him a tired but triumphant glance. That's what I do. Now, let's hope Thul's drones are just as confused as he'll be. As the ship plunged further into the chaotic embrace of the nebula, both knew this was only a temporary refuge. The game was far from over. They had survived this round, but the real battle, the fight to keep Kona's system out of Thul's hands, was just beginning. And with every passing second, the stakes grew higher, the danger more imminent. The storm raged outside, but inside, a new fire burned bright, one fueled by desperation, cunning, and a stubborn hope for victory. The ship finally emerged from the turbulent embrace of the nebula, its engines humming with cautious relief as they entered clearer space. Kona, still at the controls, exhaled sharply, her fingers trembling slightly as she stabilized their course. Ryan leaned against a nearby console, eyeing her with a mixture of admiration and worry. That was too close, he muttered, voice low, almost like the nebula itself was fighting to keep us hidden. His brow furrowed. But we're not out of the woods yet. Kona shot him a wary glance. No, we're not. Thul's got eyes everywhere. His tech is advanced, and I bet he's already tracking us again. We can't breathe easy just yet. Her voice was steady, but her hands betrayed her tension as she kept scanning the sensors. He's relentless, and I've got a feeling he's not going to give up so easily. We need to stay ahead, find that haven I mentioned. Ryan crossed his arms, his expression grim. And what's the plan now? We've got a limited window before Thul's drones or his spies pick up our trail again. That outpost you talked about. How do we get there without running into more trouble? Kona tapped her comm link, activating a secure channel. I've hacked into the sector's old navigation logs. There's a hidden route, long winding, but it's off the grid. Thul's sensors aren't as effective there. It's risky, but it's our best shot. Her eyes flashed with determination. Once we get close, I'll need to disable the ship's transponder completely. That way, Thul's tech won't be able to track us. Ryan raised an eyebrow. You're sure about this? Because if Thul's got some new tech, I'd hate to see us get caught again just because we're too stubborn to change course. Cool, no smirkit. Stubborn? Maybe. But I'd rather die trying to be caught like rats in a trap. She leaned closer, voice dropping to a whisper. Listen, I'll learn a lot from Thul's tech. I can fool his systems, but I need your help. Once we're in the shadows, I'll need you to keep a lookout. Any sign of trouble, and we bolt. A sudden jolt rocked the ship, making both of them stumble. Mara's voice crackled over the comms, frantic. Captain, we've got company. Something's coming fast on our tail. I think Thul's got reinforcements. They're closing in. Ryan cursed loudly. Great. Just what we needed. His fists clenched. Kona, can your plan hold? Or do we need to think of something else? Kona's jaw tightened. I can buy us some time, but need to get to that outpost first. After that, it's all about staying hidden. She paused, then added with a hint of steel in her voice. We're betting everything on this route. If it fails, we're done. Ryan looked straight at her, eyes fierce. Then let's make sure it doesn't. I trust you, Kona. You're the only one who can get us out of this mess. He hesitated for a moment, then added with a grin, "Besides, I've got a feeling Thol's not expecting us to play dirty." Kona shot him a sharp smile. "Good, because I plan to outsmart him. We've got one shot at this. No second chances." Once I disable the transponder, we're ghosts. No signals, no traces. Just us and the darkness. As she worked swiftly, her fingers flying over the controls, the ship shuddered again, caught in a fierce gravitational pull from the sector's remnants. Outside, the stars flickered and danced, oblivious to the chaos inside. Ryan kept watch, eyes darting between the sensors and the viewport, ready for whatever came next. Soon, Kona's voice broke through the tension. "All right, we're clear for now. The route's open, but only for a little while. We need to move fast. Once we reach the outpost, we'll be in the shadows for good." Her voice was calm, but her eyes betrayed the storm of nerves underneath. Ryan nodded firmly. "Then let's go. No matter what happens, we stick to the plan. We survive this, Kona. I swear we will." The ship surged forward, slipping silently through the darkness of space, chasing hope amid the shadows, knowing that Thol's relentless pursuit was far from over. But for now, they had bought precious time that could turn the tide in their favor. The outpost shimmered faintly in the distance, a speck of refuge amid the vast darkness of space. Kona's hands trembled slightly as she maneuvered the ship into the hidden bay, her eyes darting between the sensor readings and the viewport. Ryan watched her with a mixture of admiration and concern, knowing that this was the moment of truth. "You sure this place is safe?" he asked, voice low. "Because if Thol's drones are close, we might not have much time to make it." Kona shot him a quick, confident glance. "It's the best shot we've got," she replied, voice steady but edged with urgency. "This outpost has been abandoned for years. No one's been here, and Thol's tech won't find us until we move again. Once I disable our transponder, we'll be ghosts." Her fingers danced over the controls as she activated the stealth mode, the ship slowly sinking into the shadows of the forgotten station. As the ship settled, Mara's voice crackled over the comms, tense and urgent. "Captain, I've got a bad feeling about this. The drones, whatever Thol's got now, they're circling, scanning, and I think they're about to pick us up. We're running out of time." Ryan cursed softly. "Great, just what we needed. Kona, can your plan hold? Or are we about to get caught with our pants down?" Kona's jaw tightened. "I've done my homework. Thol's tech is good, but I found a way to throw it off, at least for a little while. Once I disable the transponder, they won't be able to track us. But we need to act fast. The longer we stay, the more chance they have to catch us." Her voice was firm, but her eyes betrayed her nerves. "We're hanging by a thread here." Suddenly, the ship lurched violently, a sharp jolt that made everyone stagger. Outside, the faint hum of drones grew louder, their scanning beams flickering across the ship's hull like a predator stalking prey. Mara's voice cut through the chaos. "They're closing in. The drones are on our tail, fast. We don't have much time." Ryan's fists clenched. "Then we better hurry." "Kona, you sure this is going to work?" he demanded, voice edged with desperation. Kona nodded grimly. "It has to. I've set the countermeasures. Once I cut the signal, they'll lose us, at least temporarily. But I need your help. Once we're in the shadows, I'll need you to keep watch. Any sign of Thol's reinforcements, and we're gone. No second chances." Ryan looked at her with steely determination. "You got my back. Just tell me what to do." Kona took a deep breath, her fingers flying over the console. "Get ready to move as soon as I give a signal. We're betting everything on this. If I don't pull it off, we're done." The ship shuddered again as it lurched into the station's shadowy interior, slipping beneath the radar like a ghost. Outside, the flickering lights of the abandoned outpost cast long shadows across the hull, hiding them from the prying sensors. Inside, Kona worked frantically, her mind racing to disable the transponder and scramble their signals. Sparks danced from the console, static crackled in the air, and her brow furrowed with concentration. Every second felt like an eternity. Finally, Kona's voice broke through the tension. "We're clear for now. The route's open, but it's only a matter of time before they realize we're gone. We need to move fast. Once we reach the hidden station, we'll be safe for a little while. But we can't afford a rest." Her eyes locked on Orion's. "This is just a temporary victory. Thul's still after us, and he's not going to give up. We gotta stay alert." Ryan nodded fiercely. "Then let's go. No matter what comes, we're sticking to the plan. We survive this, Kona. We will." His voice carried conviction, fueling her resolve. The ship's engines hummed softly as they pushed forward into the darkness, slipping silently past the lurking dangers outside. As they moved deeper into the shadows of the outpost, Kona finally allowed herself a moment of relief. "We did it, for now," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. "But the real fight is just beginning. Thul's not done, and neither are we." Her voice was steady, but her mind was already racing ahead, calculating their next move, knowing full well that every second counted in the relentless chase. Outside, the silent stars watched as the ship vanished into the darkness, carrying with it the fragile hope of escape, hope that might just be enough to turn the tide. The ship plunged into the shadowed depths of the hidden outpost, its engines whispering a soothing hum that contrasted sharply with the chaos they had just escaped. Kona's fingers moved swiftly, her focus razor-sharp as she calibrated the final systems to ensure their safety. Ryan kept a vigilant eye on the sensors, nerves taut like a bowstring. "So, this is it," he muttered, voice barely above a whisper. "The place where we finally get some breathing room." Kona shot him a quick, determined glance. "It's not a sanctuary yet," she said briskly, "but it's better than being caught in the open. Once I disable the transponder completely, Thul's tech won't find us here. We're more than just hiding, we're disappearing. That's the only way we stand a chance now." Her eyes flickered with resolve as she worked faster, her mind racing through the steps needed to secure their safety. Mara's voice crackled suddenly over the comms, tense and urgent. "Captain, I've got movement. Drones are sweeping the area. They're close, and I mean close. Thul's reinforcements are ahead of us, and they're hunting hard. We don't have much time." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Great," he snapped, voice edged with frustration. "Just what we needed, more trouble. Kona, can your plan hold? Or are we about to be caught like rats again?" Kona's lips curled into a tight smile. "Trust me, Ryan. I've played their tech before. I got a few tricks up my sleeve. Once I cut the transponder, they'll lose our trail, at least for now. But we need to move fast. Every second we waste here gives Thul's team a chance to catch us." Her tone was fierce, yet calm, as she kept her focus on the control panel. The ship lurched violently, a sharp shake that rattled everything loose. Outside, the drone scanning beams flickered wildly, trying to lock onto their vessel. Inside, Kona cursed under her breath, her hands flying over the consoles. "They're close," she said sharply. "Too close." Suddenly, Mara's voice pierced through the static. "Captain, they're on us. Drones are right outside the bay. We're running out of time. If we don't move now, we're done." Ryan clenched his fists, eyes blazing with determination. "Then we better hurry," he said fiercely. "Kona, tell me this is going to work. Because I'm not about to get caught again." Kona nodded, her expression steely. "It will. I've set the systems to scramble their signals, but I need you to keep watch. Once I give a word, we make a break for it. We're betting everything on this plan. If I fail, we're done for." Without hesitation, Ryan stepped closer, his voice steady. "You've got my support. Just tell me what you need." Kona's voice was calm but intense. "Get ready. As soon as I give the signal, we're moving fast. We'll slip into the shadows, but we can't let our guard down. Thul's not going to stop hunting us. Not yet." Her fingers worked furiously, activating the final countermeasures. The ship shuddered again, this time more violently, as if testing the limits of space and technology. Outside, The darkness of the abandoned outpost swallowed them whole, hiding their craft from prying sensors. Inside, Kona's eyes flashed with focus, heart pounding as she scrambled to disable the transponder completely. Finally, she announced, "We're clear, at least for now. The route's open, but it's only a matter of time before Thul figures out we're gone. We need to keep moving fast. The next station is our only shot at Rayal's safety, but it won't hold forever." Ryan nodded grimly. "Then let's make it count. No matter what comes, we keep going. We survive this, Kona. I swear it." His voice carried a fierce conviction that ignited her courage. As the ship glided silently through the darkness, Kona let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. "We did it, for now," she whispered, a flicker of relief crossing her face. "But this is just the beginning. Thul's not finished, and neither are we. We have to stay one step ahead always." Her eyes flicked to the viewport, watching the stars streak past in silent judgment. Every second counted, and the relentless chase was far from over. But for the first time in a long while, a fragile hope shimmered in their hearts. Hope that maybe, just maybe, they could outrun their enemies and carve out a new future amid the stars. And that was the end of the story. Comment below if you want the next chapter, and hit that like button. Please subscribe, turn on the bell, and as always, keep the last light burning.